Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a quick update with the Regalia Stride deck profile. The Regalia Strides, the deck is pretty similar to the old Regalia build. There aren't much, there isn't much that I've done with it, but I'll show you guys my deck anyway, and how to go about playing this deck. It's a very strong deck. You finish your opponent off pretty fast if you get them in, high damage fast enough. You're usually only going to stride once or twice max before you beat your opponent. If you stall out for a bit more, then there might be some trouble, but not much. But yeah, let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we're running Prayer Angel, Legion Stride for Regalia's. Skill is put this card into Soul when your Vanguard's in Legion. You can soul charge 3. Put this card into Soul charge 3, and then your Vanguard gets plus 5,000 power. So you're only gonna mostly use her effect after you go CO for a game. Yeah. So the grade 3s are running 3 CO Yggdrasil. Her skill is Soul Blast 6 when this card attacks while this card's in Legion. You pay the cost. If you do, this card gets +1 critical, and your opponent cannot call grade 1 or above units to Guardian Circle. So you basically restrict them using Perfect Guards. She is still the boss of the deck. Most of the G Zone cards are mostly used to set up her skill to make maximize her attack power. So yep. Next, we're running 4 Angelica is the Break Ride. With the Limit Break Enabler, this card is a lot more powerful because it just gives an instant pump to Yggdrasil, which is very, very useful because you can use the ability much earlier, which you could not before because your opponent would make you stuck at level grade 3 damage. Sorry, and then you won't be able to Break Ride while you're 3 damage. So with the new enabler around, we can go to 3, be at 3 and still wreck your opponent's face. So her skill is Soul Blast 3. When a Genesis unit rides on top of this unit, you can pay the cost. You do draw 2 cards, and your Vanguard gets plus 10,000 power. Other skill is when this card attacks, you may Soul Charge 1, and this card gets plus 1,000 power. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of times you're going to Break Ride. You're going to be in Angelica before you Stride, and then when you Stride, you can still use Angelica and then just do whatever you do with your G-Zone. And then when you're about to wreck your opponent's face, you just ride into Yggdrasil and then you just go for game. If you can't Break Ride, that's still fine. You can still pump your Vanguard to pretty big. Next, we're running 3 of the promo Regalia. Skill is when this card is put from the soul to drop zone, choose one of your Vanguards, and during this turn it gets a new skill. When your Vanguard attack hits, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So it puts a little bit of pressure in case you don't have the right cards you need. Most of the time you will, so it's just the icing on top of the cake. It's pretty good. Next, we're running Norn. Norn is a pretty strong card. If you can't draw into Yggdrasil for some reason, then calming her with Vanguard is still pretty good because you can stack your deck, and since you have a Regalia Vanguard, you can still activate Norn's effect. So you will be able to smack your opponent's face while you stack your draft checks. Next, we're running 4 Chimera. Skill is when this card is placed on a rear guard circle, you can choose 3 Regalia cards in your drop zone and put them into your soul. So obviously, most of the time you're going to put either her or Norn's to your soul. So there's that. These also help you recoup your soul after you soul blast with when you break ride, so they're very useful. Next, we're running 2 Shrine Enablers. I will make a build with Vanguard next, but I just like playing with Regalias more. So if you guys want to see a Vanguard deck profile, I'll be posting that probably next week after I do a new Nectar and other stuff. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, 2 Shrine Enablers, just in case you don't have grade 3s to Shrine. Then, because if you have Yggdrasil while you're on Angelica, you probably wouldn't want to ditch your Yggdrasil. So these are nice fodder to discard. Next, we're running this card. When this card's placed on Rearguard Circle, counterblast 1, choose one of your Vanguards, Regalia Vanguards. It gets plus 5,000 power and a new skill, Soul Blast 3. When this card attack hits, you would pay the cost to do Soul Blast 3 and draw a card. So, not bad. It's quite a. Mainly, you're using it for the extra power. This deck doesn't really use counterblast, so you can just do whatever you want with the counterblast. Running 3 limit break enablers. You can bump this down to 2 and run other stuff instead. You can run Ordained Owl if you want, but 3 makes it more consistent. So there's that. Next, I'm running 3 Shiny Angel. You can take one of the limit break removers out for a 4th Shiny Angel. But I don't like Shiny Angel as much as her because you can't intercept with these. So once you play them out on the field, then they're there for good. But she is good for what she does. So, yeah. Next, we're running 2 Quintet Walls and 2 Purple Guards. So the only reason I'm running Quintet Walls is so that you can pile your drop zone early on, so that you can use cards like this and this to shove them back into your soul, so that you can make big plays. Since we're not running Stride Break in this version of the build, it'll be hard to get 6 soul early on for Vanguard skill. But we have other strides to help you build soul, so you know, stuff. The danger of running 2 Purple Guards is that you can't really guard against really big attacks if you're playing against like something like Dark Irregular, or maybe sometimes we're all Paladins, but you just gotta gamble on you killing your opponent first, which this deck is very good at. Once you Legion, it's pretty much game 70% of the time. If they're at 4 damage, then it's even higher chance of you killing them. Triggers, we're running 12 crit, so as you can see, you just gotta maximize your attack power and crit potential. So we're gonna run 12 crits. Running 16 crit is a bit too YOLO for me, so we're just gonna run 4 heals. For the G zone, we're running 2 Demeters. Skill is counterblast 1 when this card attacks. If you have a Regalia heart, you pay the cost. If you do, for each heart you have, soul charge 3, and then unflip a damage. So a lot of times you won't Legion and then stride into her. That's a little underwhelming. But getting that extra 3 soul charge is actually useful enough, since you'll have plenty of soul to use after you have enough cards in your drop zone to use the other effects. Next, running 4 Vanguards. Vanguard's skill is Generation Break 2 when Soul Blast 6 flip Persona G Persona Blast. When this card attacks, when this card attacks, you can pay the cost. If you do, during your before your drive check phase. Yes, before your drive check phase. Brain fart. You can check the top 5 cards of your deck, and then either put it on the top or bottom of your deck. And then, yeah. So you can stack your drive checks. So when this card's effect activates, your opponent will have put his guard out already. So basically, if they put two to pass or 3 to pass, you can just go Keck, because you can rig your drive check so that you have the triggers that you need. So opponents will just perfect guard this most of the time. Usually they won't do 4 to pass because that's pretty much all their hand. And next turn they'll die from Yggdrasil anyway. Another way to use this skill is that if you don't have the cards you need in your hand, you can just stack it so that you do. That's a more rare occasion to do, but a lot of times you're just going to try stack your drive checks. You can stack your perfect guards if you need it. If you don't think you can kill your opponent that turn, you can just stack your perfect guards. But most of the time, you're just going to stack triggers and play mind games with your opponent. Because they're like, oh, I bet he's going to, you know, stack his triggers so that I won't have enough of the guard if I do 3 to pass or 2 to pass. And then they just give a perfect guard. Which they should, because if they don't perfect guard this guy, they won't be able to perfect guard her, so the perfect guards are useless in their hand anyway. So, yeah. Alright, so next we're running one of the Fighters Collection Double Rare. Skill is Soul Blast 3. When it's choose 2 of your rear guards and they get plus 1000 power. And then when you have 2 or less soul charge 3. So it's a pretty decent card to use first ride if you want to, but a lot of times he's there just for options. This card is the rare from the new set. When this card attack hits, you may pay the cost, so last 3. And then look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of those to your hand, and then put the rest to your soul. So she's good if for some reason you don't have any counterblast, which has happened before. So if you don't have counterblast to use this thing, and you have no rear guards to use this thing, then she's like the next best thing. You just hit, rig your hand, and then put some cards in your soul. Put some Norns or put some promos into your soul, and then you just go lol. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Yeah, it's a very fun deck. It's pretty good. I would definitely take this to a tournament. In fact, if I'm going to a tournament soon, I'm probably gonna take this deck with me, simply because it's so fast and it's very easy to use. It's pretty herp derp, and your opponents don't like playing against this deck. A lot of players don't like playing against this deck because I guess it's just not very fun. The very few occasions that you do get screwed over is that if you don't, for some reason, don't have Yggdrasil, the deck doesn't fall apart. It's just harder to win because if you just use Vanguard and if you use Vanguard as your main carry, your opponent can easily guard their attacks with perfect guards. And the rear guards, they don't hit for very big, so they're not that threatening. A lot of times, it's your Vanguard that generates the most pressure. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. This is Card Haku, and I'll see you guys very soon. I'll make a Vanir deck profile soon. Also make a Neo Nectar deck profile soon, and some Angel Feather deck profiles. That's all probably coming next week, and the week after that. Also, the contest I have picked out the first 2 winners for the Phase 1 and Phase 2, which I will also announce later this week. So probably the next video you see will be a contest update video. I'll announce the first 2 winners for that, and then I'll announce the how to win the Phase 3 for the Cross and the OG Crusade deck. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching. This is Cardtaku, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!